Alright, there we go. Looks like we're all set up. Get a little more volume in there. I don't think, let's see. That's much. Here we go. Alright, looks like we're ready to rock and roll. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Just getting things set up on my end. All right, let's do this. I think what we need to do is continue where we left off and go ahead and change this over to here. Showcase my god-awful code. But, yeah. So, as things stands, you need to adjust the camera focus to get it to properly lerp to the position that we want on the screen. Honestly, I wish I had a widget here so I could actually see the participants, but that's alright. Alright, we have the look. What we want to do is go from start position to end position, and essentially it's just resetting itself, which is not what I want to do. So, just gonna sit here and wait. Can I hear my... Hold on. Seriously? Cannot... Oh my god. Okay, there we go. That's more like it. Volume mixer. Let's go ahead and lower that down a little bit more. Let's go ahead and lower that down a little bit more for the audience. All right, excellent. Lerp to focus and zoom, still needs that. Search, transform. I mean, that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's more so with how we are holding, or rather storing, that quote-unquote look. Yeah. And so... that coffee hasn't really kicked in yet. Alright, start, set that equal. We want the transform to equal start end position. Here we have the start end position being the transform itself of the empty game object, which is going to be then going towards the transform input that we put into it. But that's only if look is true, and then we set it to be false. So what we need to do is not that, I think. If we don't set it to be that, then what will happen, what should hopefully happen, is it'll be controlled entirely by this. So once this happens, we should be able to just say back is, well, does it really matter? I don't think so. Alright. Let's go back to the other thing then. Boom. Let this build here. Should wait while this is building. Yeah, why can't I hear or see? Oh, is it because I did that? I'm so confused by that. Hold up. Properties, stream mic, webcam. Well, I don't have a webcam, so that doesn't matter. Alright. Then I can go back into here and I can just lower that down a little bit. Alright, cool. So we'll build and run this. I guess the question is it actually going to capture the window, or is it only going to have this? I don't want to do display capture, because that's just kind of... Does it? It does not. Does not capture it. Alright. Oh, good thing we have window capture up. Just automatically swap that to... Oh, it doesn't detect that. Alright, let's see. Game capture. Is this actually gonna... intro, calculator, stream overlays, mask. Wow, neither of these actually detect the game that I have open. Interesting. It's a weird input lag on this. It looks at it. How does it? Wow. Jeez. Okay, so that breaks still. All right. Well, whatever. I'll quit that. Uh-huh. Well, Pivotal Starch, appreciate it. But I think, I'm just gonna roll with my current setup. So, still appreciate it. I am now needing to think a little bit. Oof. Yeah, maybe it'd be better to just do that on camera. Just do level design. I don't know. I'll swap back to the code. Okay, so what wound up happening was the lerp did not retain focus, or it did, but there was a strange jitter every time there was a movement input from, I know why. I know why. I do know why. Basically, since it's always a part of that, it's always gonna try and lerp back towards what it's looking at, so I think what needs to happen is I'm just gonna need to go into the prefab that I have here, and rather than have it be a child, well, that's the other thing. Don't want to do that because then it won't follow what I want it to do. Alright, so what needs to happen then is I need to see if there's just a way to look it up online. Interesting. Something that I could try just to look. Let's see. If I do this, do that, does that actually impact it? I don't know. Interesting. Well, I guess all of y'all can probably tell whether or not I'm actually, you know, used to doing this whole streaming thing, because I'm still currently working through what I'm supposed to be doing. Anyways, I'll probably tackle this one more offline, because I'd rather do level design, because that's just more interesting to me right now. Let me go back and swap the screen focus back to here. Project scenes. Let's try. Yeah, we'll go back to here. We'll do some level design with that. Alright, there we go. And what we can do is, so we have this here. We want, why is it, did I, let me check this. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. No, that would explain it. Yeah, let's just go ahead and zip that out of there. I'll go back to the wall. We're gonna zip that out of there. Go to here. Just gonna wall. That should cover it. Alrighty. So essentially, we also wanted to get some spikes in here. So let's go back to here. This thing is really annoying. Hazard. Spikes there, spikes there. I think I'm just gonna automatically kill the player as soon as I get in here. So then what we can just do is, wait, wall, makes sense, ground. That's supposed to be ground as well, so we'll just quickly do that. Zip, zip, zip. Then, so while we're at it, essentially what I think I want to happen is I want the player, you even drew this out and everything. No, not there. Previous page. There we go. Should probably go ahead and turn down the sensitivity on my mic. Oof. Is there any way to change the sensitivity on the microphone? Well, all things I probably should have looked at before I started, but too late now. So essentially what I want to happen is I want the player to fall down right here, kind of onto this platform. Nah, you know what? I want them to fall down over here. And since I'm making a Metroidvania, I want it to be a sort of platform. So we can go ahead and select, where is it? And I'm getting messed up by this new thing because of these two right here, but whatever. Let's see, I'll just put this platform in for now. Do a ground. So, given that there's gonna be a corner here and here, I think we probably want that to be like that. Nice platform in there. Do some ground aesthetic just so they can actually move through it if they chose to. Yeah, we will do 2 right there. I'll go back to ground. Automatically fill out this sort of platform because we do want them to be able to go a little bit to the left if they choose to. Can probably get rid of this wall here, that way it doesn't actually matter which way they choose to go. Should probably also get rid of that there. So that way what we can do is we can build in a nice little alcove here, a walkway. We don't want to have the pillars there, so what we'll do is we'll probably raise this up to here. I kind of want this entire thing just to be like a placeholder for when we actually get more more variety in the tile set. Right now it's a little bare bones, so we'll just go ahead and do this here with these two. We can go back to ground. This will be kind of a tighter walkway, I think. Maybe have it open up into this chamber here. Overall, we want there to be a point to coming over here. I think what I'll do is I'll also swap this out. Originally, I was thinking that this is where the player would kind of acquire the grappling hook. But unfortunately, now that I think about it, I kind of want there to be a little more to this room than just, you know, oh, you know, fall down a hole, grab this, and then you just kind of jump your way out. So I think what I'll do is I will have the exit actually over here, so the player is able to explore, if they so choose, do this, because I'm pretty sure they, no, we'll do this, I'm pretty sure they can jump that gap right there. Then we'll do another one over here, maybe leave this open in the future for some hazards that'll come slamming down, slamming salmon. Well, that doesn't look good. What about you? That looks good. And then we got a ground here, 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 and here. Do the same thing. Kind of wondering if the player can actually make that jump, so I'll test that really quickly just to see. But I want to get this running here, get the spikes in there just for dramatic effect, since they don't actually do anything at the moment. Have that kind of go up. Actually, I don't want that to be hazard. I want that to be wall. There you go. I'll go back to ground and finish off this corner here. And since this is a short wall, I do not feel bad just making that. No, I don't want to make that ground. I do need to make that wall. I really wish I had organized this better. In fact, I think I might just do that. Oops. Let's do this. Grab. We're gonna grab all of this. And we're gonna move this down right here so it's more in line. And now we'll just kind of delete that. That way now I can just quickly snap back and forth between these. Interesting how it looks like that there, but this is all messed up over here. Alright, so do that, get that one, and my player character is here, so let's go ahead and move them up just to test out, like, this area. So we should be fully set. if it ever actually loads in. There we go. All right, so boom, yeah, that's no problem. But boom, yeah, we landed the spike. So that just kind of says that you need to have a space of 3. So we can just go ahead and go into hazard, delete that, back into ground, delete all that, and then just move it over. It's right there. And since that's there, that should be all set. Perfect. All right, cool. Now, I'll probably want to go up a little bit, and since I know the player can jump this height here, which one do I want to use? This, that doesn't really matter. I'll just use this one. This one. So the player can definitely make that jump there. But what I want to happen is I want them to essentially have to come back to this point here in order to get across. They have to swing. So you're forcing them to be able to navigate this with or without the grappling hook ability. But as soon as they reach this point, you know, they can kind of fall down here, or they can fall down over here, and regardless, they'll have to navigate through this point just to pad it out. And I might make it more interesting with like an enemy or something sitting in there. But ultimately, I do think that this is looking pretty good with what I have. Just kind of forcing the player to test things out a little bit. Okay, that should be good there. Now we'll make that go up like so. Do that one. They'll make a long straightaway. Do that there too. Okay, now I should be able to fill this in just so I can have it looking a little bit nicer. Now just fill it. Oh, easy peasy. Alright, so do ground, do this here, build out this area. Testing. I think I want it to be immediately apparent that if you go all the way over here, you know, I can have a sort of unreachable platform here with like a little grappling hook just to give a sort of indication that you can drop down, but not necessarily have to, unless you want to. Which actually allows me to make use of these things because they're really annoying. That's too far, that's too far. The grappling hooks currently work pretty well, so I'll just put it there and then I'll have it be there as far as ground goes. Unfortunately, I think, yeah, I'll probably have to go back in and make a tile that's a little less egregious with its kind of overlap, but for now what I can do is just, okay, well that didn't work. I can't do that there, that doesn't like that. If I do this here, yeah, as you can see, it just kind of reverses it, so it looks a little bit ugly, but that's no problem. That is no problemo. As far as the ground goes here, we can just kind of cap that off nice and easy. Maybe like a little jump up area. I do want to add in more spikes, so do that. able to make that. Actually, I can make use of this. They might be able to make that. They might not be. That is going to be something that we'll have to see. To cap that off. With spikes, I kind of want them to have to swing, so I want them to swing from here, so I'll have to actually add in more material down here instead of having that capped off. So they'll swing from here to here, then they can jump and navigate this area. Kind of like that. And I kind of want to make them jump down to there. From here, that'll actually be something I have to see. Quickly just put in a bunch of ground tiles so that way I actually can land in the event that I fall down and miss. Back to hazard and we'll just fill it out. Okay. Should now be able to move the player character right to here. Play the game, test it out, see how it goes. Alright, cool. So I'll just use the double jump ability since I have it. Player can definitely hit that. That is going to be a bit rough with the current situation on the camera. But if I'm... Alright, let me see if I can actually do this with one jump. No. Okay, so it has to move over one. I don't want that to be hazard, we need that to be ground. Get rid of that one. Alright, so from there, what we can do is I probably want to build up a full sort of thing here, and then we'll have it be like a giant flat area so that way I can build one of these things here. Oops. Stretch that out. Alright, so from here you can jump up to here. You know what? I'm going to do that. And then in the back I'll make a nice little platform that you can kind of jump from right here. Do these guys so you can just jump up from here to here. Just kind of fill that in right there. So this is going to be a straight wall, and then I'm thinking that this actually should be raised up, maybe out to there, because I'm pretty sure you can make that jump fairly easily. No trickery required. Just do that. You can also do this for these guys. So it'll just be kind of hanging out there, weird, strange platform thingy, stretching out over the void. And since this is going to be capped, what we can also do is this right here. So if they have this wall, they're pretty much dead. What I can go ahead and do is ground aesthetic on these two, And then if I go into the grid and make the ground aesthetic, probably gonna want to make this 7 because the player's gonna be 6. Hazard, we're gonna make 8 because we want that to be in front of the player. Wall, we want to also be in front of the player, so we can make that 9 because we want that to be in front of Hazard. And then ground, we also want that to be in front of the player, so we can just go ahead and make that 7 because there's not really going to be, there's not going to be anything interfering with it necessarily, so should work out pretty well. Alright, anyways, let's go back to having the walls selected so I can see what we're doing. Select these two, do that. Also, that works out in our favor because now walls can be directly in front of the ground. So we'll just go ahead and do this, cap that off right there like that. And now this area should be good. Oh, we're getting a little bit of lag. That stretch of area should be good. We'll just kind of build that up a little bit right there. I'll probably put in another couple assets and then like just the ceiling stretch of assets that don't matter, but the player will be able to see them and say, hey, that looks kind of nice, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. Okay, can do that, can do that. Let's go into the static ground, just kind of fill in this whole area. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, not that. I can just fill in this entire area. Doesn't matter really what shape it is, but I like it to be big so it covers a wide span. Now we have the troubling part. So essentially what we've forced the player to do is to traverse this area, but we need to have something here so that way they can, one, swing from something. I guess I can just, stretch that back out that way. It's not a huge deal. Like, excuse me? Excuse me, sir? Sir, why are you like this? Wait, what? Huh? What is that? What is happening? Why are you doing this? Is it because I selected something else? Like, I'm very confused as to why this is behaving the way it is. Select the ground. If I click on that, okay, but okay. Alright, so if we stretch this out to right here, we'll give this a little bit of ground tiles to work with, and then I can slide that guy in there because that will repeat it indefinitely. We don't want that one. We also don't want that to be ground. We want that to be wall, so the player can bonk off of it if they hit it from below. I actually don't mind doing this here because it pairs well with the I'll delete that. Delete that guy right there. Actually, we don't want that one in there. But we just want to delete it. Then I guess we can actually just do this one here, and then we can just have a couple of these guys that stretch over this way. I think maybe we could do that one there and this one here. Why are you... I guess we want to do it in both spots. Anyways, so we can do that, and then we can have ground aesthetic, so that way we can have a nice looking, you know, like little pillar section here. So a little more import placed in that spot. Something of concern is this little junction right here, because I don't exactly have an immediate tile to join the two. Something I should probably get to work on, but it's far easier for me to just ignore it and do what I've been doing, which is to go ahead and grab from here this lovely little prefab. Go back into doing that so I can just so if we go into ground aesthetic, I think we want ground aesthetic to still be 7, but it has. Here's the problem. That's a big one. Ground aesthetic. Why don't we make this 7? We'll make ground aesthetic 8. Then we can go ahead and make wall. Wall's already 9. Ground So this will inherently be in front of the player. I'll probably need to make a new tile set for that, but all in all shouldn't be too bad. Go ahead and just wrap this up if I go back to, well, I'll just change this really quickly. I'll move that back to right there, just so it lines up. We got a couple more in here. We'll show them that they can do a double swing back over if they so choose. Probably want these two to be at the same, roughly the same line height. We can make that 8.5 for both. Doesn't exactly matter. The X distance, that should be good. They'll land back here, and then finally, if we get, once again, another one, set that to be probably 8, just to span the gap. Then as soon as they do that, they can then get another one right here at 6.5 to span that gap, and then they should, in theory, be able to do this. I don't know if they'd be able to make this jump here, but that is something that we can quickly test. Just go ahead and save. Save and play test. That's gonna be annoying if they keep doing that in the future. Alright. I missed, okay. Just gotta be careful about that. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful, no problem. And you can make it back up. I should probably have like a little step there or something. And then here, boom, easy peasy, no problem. But as you can see, you cannot make that jump. Okay, cool. Well, that's good to know. Drop my pencil. Okay, everything there looks fine-ish. I'll just go into ground. We'll go ahead and delete that, but we also know that there's a wall one there. Also get rid of this ground one, and then we can go ahead and just zip one of those in there. Okay, cool. So you should be able to do that. And I think what that allows us to do is just fill in this whole area. So I'll just zip that over, zip that up, zip that over, zip that up. This is always my favorite part of doing this, is just kind of closing off all the gaps. Not that one. Here now. So this stretch here, this is going to be an interesting one. I pretty much want to make this like a gauntlet. So really saying that for anyone, but since the player will just have discovered the ability to use their grappling hook, I kind of want to make it so that way they can, you know, reasonably use it. And I guess what I could do should do, is it doing this thing again? Is it because I'm, like, somehow double-clicking? Very peculiar. Very peculiar. I think should be fine. We'll do ground. Nope. That's not the right ones. Alright, that should be good. Should probably also make just a container to organize all these things. You can definitely close up this one. Create empty, and we'll just call that hook points. Take all the prefabs and just stuff them in. Foreground rock, I'll make another one. Call it environment. Environment assets. Take that prefab and just stuff it in there. I don't want to just have these going all the way across though. I kind of want to have something like this stretching for just a little bit, then have it kind of come back up. Something I could do is probably just have a nice easy sort of wall piece here. That can go in there, but we can also get this going up here. These guys, another one of these guys, and another one of these guys. Delete that guy. Nope. This one, on the other hand, I am without doubt just gonna kind of take it and have it go back up into the roof a little bit. Maybe have just a pulse holder here. And do that. Again, same thing as the other side. It's just a nice little aesthetic thing. Now over here, however, I think I'm gonna make use of something else for that, but for now what we can do is we can just grab this guy, probably use this one instead, just kind of stretch it over. It keeps it that. Hanging and chilling. I am, without a doubt, gonna just get this to stretch way up. In fact, I might just have it go to here, because if the player jumps, they can really only jump up to here. I do kind of want them to be able to leave this area, so I might just have like another like little pylon thing here, and then you can jump up to there. I'll delete that, and then this will be the boundary of the room, so to speak. Nope, not gonna do that just yet. Have that stretch way over there. Oops, why did I miss that? Cool, and I just fill that in. Excellent. Things are coming along. Things are coming along. Just trying to think about what I want to do. I guess, well, I don't need to go and see what that looks like, but what can I do? Let's see here, I think I can probably borrow from my water shader. Put in this little square asset. I'll just change the size. Do this. I'm probably gonna want to do two. One to right about there. Go into wall. And this will all make a lot of sense in roughly like 2 seconds. Don't actually want that there. Quickly do that. I'm probably going to do the same thing again, going over here, just a little bit more. No, we don't want that one, we want this one. Okay, so essentially what we want to do is we want to assign a camera to go ahead and look at this thing here. It's been a while since I actually did this, so I'm probably going to need to refer to the other ones that I worked on. So this guy right here. This is more of a complete scene. So how did we do this? We had the water reflection, which is the actual camera. So probably actually just copy and paste that. Yeah, and then there's the square right below it, so I'll just go ahead and go back to here. Did it really just copy the ground instead of the camera? Dude, come on. Alright. I'll just put it in the camera. We don't want to make it, we want to make it orthographic, size of 5, with height. This is the problem though, you know, I can't exactly change the shape very easily unless I do something like 0.8. Probably want this to be 1, make this 0.2. Well, there you go. There you have it. That's how you do it. You just do that, and then you can probably figure out how you want to do it. So if I said 0.15, that'll stretch it out a little bit more. We don't want that. What about 1.8? No, 1.9? 1.9's good. I could just increase the size a little bit. Have that be there and applying to the square. So the output render texture is going to be 2, not there, water shader. What do we want? Do we want reflective 1 or reflective 2? I think we want reflective 1. So we go into camera, we'll just apply. Does not like that. What about square? Can I do that here? Material, reflective water, beautiful. And now the output render texture is surprisingly not just this. Again, I need to go ahead and refer to my earlier work? How did we do this? So we used reflective water, that's not a problem. Water reflection uses the output texture of water reflection, of course. How could I mess that up? It's these two. Okay, so then we'll just go back to NFP5, go back to water shader, and under camera we can use, is this gonna work? Sort of, kind of. It might also be because I don't actually have anything behind it. This Z is fine. That Z, we want that. -10. That's more like it. That's much, much more like it. Now, why is it looking over there? That would explain a lot. And we'll just do 0.4. 0.4 is pretty good. Kind of want it to be like a little bit above here, but you know, until I actually have something behind it, it's gonna look a little ugly as sin. So square, we're gonna definitely need to stretch this out to right about there, and we also need to set this to be probably like 13 or something like that, just so it's in front. Stretch it down so it makes a little bit more sense. Except, what is going on here? Why is there a random thing stretching all the way down? See, I get it over here. This makes sense to me. You know, this thing. Also, that render texture is just all kinds of messed up. But on the right side, I just need to do that, and that should line up pretty well. Probably shrink it down as well, because that's just going to be on like the kind of surface here. But my biggest problem is, what in the hell is this? Where are you? What are you? Is it supposed to be this thing? Is it that? No, it can't be that. Is it this thing over here? Camera isn't even looking at that. Because this for sure is here, and this is capturing this whole thing up here. So something I might just do is, you know, ground. We're just gonna stretch this up a little bit. Nothing too crazy. I can't really make that jump if I don't do this. Oh, sure, we'll do that. Do that, put that in there. And I can also use there. Walls, just do. Excuse me as I go ahead and delete the ground thing here. Wall, maybe this guy. No, that looks awful. As does that. But the trick is to be good at stuff ahead of time, so that way you have a nice organized tile set. Go ahead and do that and that. That way it looks good, and then ground, we'll go ahead and just erase this. No ground aesthetic. Fill that in. So that should be good. And now it's actually accurately capturing the reflection that we want it to. But another thing that we kind of need to do is just line it up with, not like that. How do we do this? Right about there. Yeah, that looks about right. If we go ahead and do this, sprite sheets, no, you know, we want random paths. Here, we want, I don't really care about the prefabs, so what we can do is we can just put in these pieces, and I'm actually going to put these in the background, oddly enough. That has not broken it. And I do want this to be captured, so the camera and the square need to be pretty much lined up in terms of that. So right about, let's see, where does it start getting wonky? Let's say right about there. Yeah, definitely right about there. Okay, that's where it gets wonky. The light 2D is targeting everything. We don't want it to target everything. We want to target nothing and only the default. So we can create another light that only targets the background. Go light 2D, nothing, background. We don't want that to be 1. And we want the blend style to be 1, so that way it's not interfering with the other light. I guess what I can do is I can go ahead and go back to scenes. Go to here, go to here. Something else I have to do is increase. Where are you? There you are. What are you doing? Go back to about there. I think what I'll go ahead and do is make this 15 so it actually covers everything. Have it stretch way on up and way on down. And then I'll go ahead and copy it. Save that. Go back to here. So you can do that. Where are you? Do that, and then what we can do is we can just kind of shrink that down a little bit so it doesn't impact too much beyond. Definitely have it go right there so it blends well with that line. It still impacts that a little bit, but you know, not too much. And there's like, you know, if you look really hard, you might be able to see where that line is that it ends, but ultimately I think that that's a pretty good thing. So that is going to be going into the doors, and according to my map, I think essentially we want that to be coming off of, I want that to be going to connection to IF. Call that 2, and I have to call this MFB. This is just connection to IF. There we go, so that's one door. Pretty much what we force the player to do is no matter what, they are required to come through this area, they're required to hit this. Once they come over here, they'll acquire the grappling hook, they'll come back over this way if they haven't already. I think what I need to do is make sure they can actually get up here. Like I was was kind of going through way earlier. So we'll just do a nice long lead up. We don't want to prevent them from going up there at any point. You know, they can feel free to explore whatever they want. Definitely just get rid of that. I can also get rid of the ground pieces here. That's a wall piece. Let's see, which one do you? Perfect. I'll use ground, go back into ground aesthetic, fill in the gap. All right, so that should be pretty good. And then now that we have that going on, what we can also do is I kind of want to copy the settings, but not just yet. So I'm just gonna go into here. Beautiful. I can just like stretch this thing definitely off to the side. Now I can just do that, stretch it off to the side. I know we want it to go into here, so we're not too crazy. That should get us all the way. Indeed it does. With a slight angle up. Now what we do is just look back to make sure that there's no real distinct gaps that we can see. Everything looks pretty nice. That is a little strange, but no one's going to be looking too closely once we do what we're about to do. I'll go back into grid. Make a new 2D tile map. Rectangular. Call that background. So the sorting layer is going to be background, and then in here we're going to go into background with this. Boom, 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 boom. Just fills in the gap. Looks not too bad, you know? Now if we click out, nope, not that. Click out to about there. You can see that we have missed quite a lot. So we'll just go ahead and do that, fill in the gaps. It looks like I didn't miss too much else. Go back into the ground aesthetic. Right there, and then we'll just kind of fill that gap in right there. Perfect. All right. That's pretty successful, you know. I got most of a room completed, and I think after this we'll probably have it snake back the other way. But in the meantime, I think that was all in all a pretty successful, you know, first stream. So appreciate y'all joining, and I'll catch you in the next one. Be sure to follow. I gotta